Hey folks, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. I've got a scenario I really want to try out, and it is called The Radiance, created by Zenada. Now, if you know what The Radiance is, that means you're already familiar with the game Hollow Knight, which happens to be one of my favorite games ever made. I could literally go and talk about the lore of that game for hours. It is so incredible. It's kind of like Dark Souls in that it doesn't spoon-feed the story to the player. You really have to go hunting for a bit of the lore and the world building that goes into it, right? And the Radiance is one of those really important characters that does take a bit of time to kind of understand and dig up. But we'll see what the creator of this scenario actually talks about before I kind of ramble for too long. So we are the Radiance, a deity that wants to take over the world. So we started a plague that will either spread everywhere and kill everyone or manipulate everyone. I've also included a scavenger hunt in this scenario, just like in the game. Interesting. Also, the evolutions are based on the abilities and charms for Hollow Knight. Very cool. Oh, we have a message from me. I didn't see this earlier. For Pravus, I love your videos, and some of the strategies you provided are extremely helpful, and it would be great if you were to play this. By the way, I suggest you play on Mega Brutal for the best experience. Well, fair enough. Mega Brutal it shall be. We are the Radiance. All right. So, as the right-hand man or left-hand man for the Radiance, you have to start in an infection to give the Holy Moth power to control the world. Where should we start? That's a great question. Not Saudi Arabia. Let's try playing somewhere else. How about in Southeast Asia? I don't know. Wait, hang on. That wasn't Southeast Asia. That was Spirit's Glade. Hold on. Everything's been renamed. What do we got here? Dirtmouth, Resting Grounds, Grub Home, King's Pass, City of Tears, Coliseum of Fools. Yep, I know all of these places. This is actually kind of cool. The U.S. is Green Path. Fascinating. Okay. So, we'll see how much more pop-ups come into some of this before we go too far. Let me just find out what kind of things we have for transmissions. Nothing! What do we have for symptoms? Nothing! What do we have for abilities? Something! The Wayward Compass. Start the plague. Very well, does nothing but give me lots of options. So, we have an old nail. All right, the weapons that the Hollow Knight uses. Okay. Kind of like a sword, but, you know, it's called a nail. We've got a Dream Wielder. Sure. We've got Isma's Tear, Delicate Flower, Grim Child. Ooh, we're getting into the DLC. All right. Mark of Pride, Shape of Un, and the Defender's Crest. These are all items and or things that you can find in Hollow Knight. I recognize a lot of this. The problem is actually knowing what all of them do. Let's start with transmissions. What do we have here? World Sense. All right, start transmissions. Let's go ahead and do that. This is, at the end of the day, still a Plague Geek scenario, and we need to spread. So we have Gathering Swarm. Disease is able to infect insects and bugs to increase transmission, effective in the hot and humid countries. We have Lifeblood Heart, increasing infectivity but easier to cure. Infecting a new country. I want to save this one for later, just in case I need a Spore Burst. We've also got the Illumify Lantern, good for, I assume, some sort of water transmission. Tram Pass for, again, I'm guessing maybe air transmission based on the symbol, but I'm not sure. Map and Quill. Travel the world rather than staying indoor. Oh no, this one actually affects planes, so I don't know what Tram Pass does, but that's okay. Focus, decrease severity and lethality, we don't worry about that. Grub Song, increase transmission from corpses, good. And Simple Key, a simple solution to social distancing, ensuring guests to increase infectivity, good for the rural countries. Still nothing in terms of symptoms though, so we'll see how that develops. So if you don't know what the Radiance is, we kind of talked a little bit about being like the deity and all that stuff. The long story short of it is, in this world of Hallow Nest and everything else you'll find in Hollow Knight, the Radiance existed as a deity of the moths, right? Kind of the holy light that they all look to because, you know, moths are drawn to a flame, right? But there is another creature that came forth, the Pale King, who, at the end of the day, is actually a worm god. It's kind of confusing, but a lot of the bugs of that world ultimately cast aside the Radiance in favor of the Pale King as a new sort of god king. And the Radiance has kind of unleashed a blight or a corruption upon the world, and that's why the Hollow Knight was created to seal it away, and it goes into a lot of stuff. But basically, yeah, we are a deity. We are the ultimate baddie of Hollow Knight, which is why I think this actually kind of makes a bit of sense. So if I'm going to get some early transmissions, what do I want here? I guess I'll go ahead and pick up the Lumify Lantern on the off chance maybe we can use a boat to get somewhere. That could be good. I don't have any planes to worry about yet, so that seems unimportant. Let's go for a Tram Pass. Maybe that's basically going to be like land transmission? That could very well be the case. I literally could just talk about Hollow Knight for so very long in this video instead of talking about Plague Inc., which I'm a little bit wary of doing, so I'm going to try to keep this somewhat focused. I have to assume that you have some cursory knowledge of what Hollow Knight is. If you don't, though, man, I cannot recommend enough It is a phenomenal game, absolutely gorgeous, incredible world building, some of the best music you're going to hear in a game in a while. I should not have picked that up. I completely forgot that infects a new country. Ha! Whoops. Okay. Anyway, yeah. It's just phenomenal. It's a lot like Dark Souls, though. Imagine if Dark Souls met a Metroidvania, right? With including the difficulty of having to fight the same gosh dang bosses 100 times until you finally figure out the patterns and win. That's kind of how the game works. It's frustrating at times, but God, it is glorious. Absolutely amazing. And the speedrunners who can do that game, like, man, I wish I was that good. I wish, but I'm not. All right, anyway. So we've got our old nail. That could lead to a sharpened nail, so we're going to get the blacksmith upgrades. That's kind of nice. The dream wielder, increased DNA gain. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up early, and this could, like, increase more DNA gain. So severity goes up, but if we get a lot more DNA, like, what does that mean? Does that mean more from popping bubbles? Not from the orange ones. What about red? Maybe from red. +5 feels like a lot. This could also be one of those things where, like, it pops from blue bubbles, and that's just not shown to me. There's a lot of different options that could be interesting there. Let's go for the Mark of Pride to unlock some new symptoms. We have the Spore Shroom. Okay, that actually makes sense. Thorns of Agony. Ah, yes. A classic for any of the multiplayer mods. Hive Blood. We already saw Grub Song. What do we have? Oh, my God, a lot of symptoms. Okay, there's a ton of customization in this scenario. An absolute ton. Vengeful Spirit. I do love that ability. Desolate Dive. Underrated. Very strong. Howling Wraiths. Okay. Fragile Heart. Fragile Greed. Fragile Strength. All these make this easier to cure, but give me some sort of a stat. That's actually kind of a clever idea. The Fragile Heart and stuff, basically, that is an item you can pick up in Hollow Knight, and it's going to give you some sort of a buff. I think it, like, gives you... I can't remember actually for sure off the cuff of my head. Maybe it gives you, like, more, like... currency as you fight, but basically if you take a hit, it gets destroyed, so you have to be extra careful with it. Hunter's Journal, Cyclone Slash, Dash Slash, Great Slash, Soul Catcher, Dash Master, Long Nail, Quick Slash, and Heavy Blow. Indeed, almost all of these, I think, are special abilities of the Hollow Knights, or they are going to be based off of different charms. Kind of cool. Now, one thing I think that doesn't necessarily click with me immediately in this scenario is why am I developing out the abilities of the Hollow Knight if the Hollow Knight is the ultimate enemy of the Radiance? Like, shouldn't I be focusing on building out the corruption rather than making the bug stronger? I don't know, that's kind of what I would immediately think, but maybe I am incorrect on that point. We can go ahead and pick up Map and Quill now that we actually are in countries that could spread by plane, so to me that makes a little bit of sense. Let's go back to the symptoms and see what we want to get. I don't really want to get any of the severity yet. We've actually got a pretty hefty amount of severity. Is there anything here that would give me basically just infectivity? No, not really. Okay, so maybe we want to focus on getting things like, what is Isthmus Tier? Travel across the seas with no problem at all. Lots of water transmission is what I'm guessing. An item gifted to you by the Radiance, the Dream Nail. You can go down this rabbit hole and see what's at the end. So this is where I'm guessing the scavenger hunt comes into play, am I right? Seems kind of cool. Slightly harder to cure, severity mutates less. Shape of I don't want to reduce my infectivity. Yeah, there's not a ton of good options for me to work with here. Maybe we want to go for things like the Glowing Womb and the Collector's Map. Ah, yes, the Collector's Map. Gosh. Cornifer. That's his name, right? We like that guy. Yep, every time you heard that guy singing when you're first playing the game, it's like, oh my god, where are you? Where are you? I need a map of this area. For God's sake, I need a map of this area. I'm so lost. That game is just, it's just so freaking good. Joni's Blessing, super easy to cure. Not sure I want to do that. That might be a problem. Let's go for the Glowing Womb. This does give me some mutation chance. Have we gotten a single mutation so far in this entire scenario? I don't think we have. We are all of a sudden spreading like absolute crazy, though. Fluke Nest. No, not the Fluke Worm. I hate that thing. Infected bugs can explode violently to further increase transmission, increasing mutation chance, spread to a new country at the cost of being easier to cure. We'll pass on that for the moment, all right? We're just going to pass on that entirely for the moment. Let's go for... Gosh, what do I want? To mutate much more, transmission from corpses. Let's go for a simple key that should get me into the City of Tears, right? Elegant Key, okay, good for the rich countries. Love Key, the Shopkeeper's Key. Yeah, this gets me a lot more infectivity. This is worth something. Let's pick that up. We could go for, I guess, the Shopkeeper's Key just so I have even more ship and plane transmission. You never know, and that's going to be helpful. Might as well max it out. Do we have, like, cold or heat resistance anywhere, by the way? Because I don't think that I saw that. Let's pick up the Sharpened Nail that goes to a Channeled Nail. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Delicate Flower, drop infectivity to boost lethality. Fascinating idea, by the way. Probably good if you are at the end of the scenario where you've already infected the world, but people aren't dying fast enough, and it's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go ahead and drop infectivity and just boost up lethality by a lot. Actually, kind of clever. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go for Dream Nail. I'm curious what this does. Awakened Dream Nail, 18 DNA. This is kind of a waste. I'm going to take the Grim Child, unlocking the Trojan Plains. Could boost that again. Not sure I need that right now. Decrease research speed and the chance of being discovered at the cost of some infectivity. I'm just curious what some of these do, right? Like, I don't really care about some of this. Less mutation chance, losing infectivity doesn't sound great, but like, what is this hidden thing? What does it do? I must know. All right, Cyclone Slash. I don't know what's good here. There's kind of a lot of abilities here that are all kind of the same at the end of the day in terms of like what their stats do for you. So I'm not sure how helpful it's actually going to be. Let's go for the Hunter's Journal. That could lead to the Hunter's Mark. Sure, that seems reasonable enough. I'll pick up, gosh, I don't know. I don't really know what I want. Great Slash. Sure, Great Slash is fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We just spent a whole load of our DNA to not necessarily gain anything. So we're missing Madagascar, Cuba, and Greenland. Let's just go ahead and solve the Greenland problem right off the bat, since, again, I don't know if I saw any cold resistance anywhere in the game. And I really don't feel like worrying about that right now. Actually, what is Greenland called? It is the Path of Pain. Oh, that's a great name. Brilliantly done. Well done. Very well done indeed. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Fluke Nest. It is a lot of infectivity. It gets me into some countries for free. Cast Off Shells begins to break down. That is going to be what? One of these countries over here. It looks like it is going to be Indonesia. That is falling apart. We could pick up some Corpse Transmission, which wouldn't be a bad plan. I don't really feel like I need that much more infectivity, but I'm going to pick it up anyway, just because without the cold resistance, I don't know how I'm going to be able to deal with any of that. City Crest. Open up election ballots in person near City Halls to increase infectivity. What is the government even doing at this point? I mean, I don't know. King Stations and Anarchy and stuff. It seems like the Pale King is not necessarily doing a very good job of maintaining the order in his Hollow Nest. I'm just saying. Holy crap, the cure is going fast. Hold on. What can I do that will slow that down? Harder to cure with the Defender's Crest. Let's go for the Shape of Un in order to slow it down. I guess we could pick up the Defender's Crest. That doesn't slow it down much, though. We do not get DNA, by the way, from the blue bubbles. Okay. We've been faffing around so far, and now I'm starting to think that we may have screwed ourselves a little bit. Let's pick this up. That leads to Baldur's Shell. Harder to cure. Yeah, but it's not helping me that much. Like, this is curing way too fast. And we're not getting anywhere near enough DNA for this. Plus, as you can all see, the cold resistance is just not working out for me here. So this is definitely going to be a loss the first time around. So the question is, what can I do differently that would make this a lot easier? I don't want anything that makes it easier to cure is the lesson learned here, not on Mega Brutal. Long Nail, I'm just looking for something here. Hyperactivity, lack of sleep, no, not finding anything there. What about Soul Catcher? That leads to Shaman Stone. No. Yeah, I don't know what we've got here that would slow down. I don't know. Lifeblood Heart might be just too risky. Huh. I don't see a lot of genetic hardening options either. The lack of cold resistance is actually going to be a problem. All right, let me go ahead and restart. What would make sense here? Maybe we don't start in Southeast Asia. Now I'm going to find a way to make it work. It's not a good starting location, but we're going to find a way to make it work. I do think that maybe I'll go for Dream Wielder early on. I know we're more likely to get noticed, but if it gets me a lot of extra DNA, I kind of need to take the high-risk, high-reward play if that's going to get me more DNA. So we're going to try that. As far as transmissions are concerned, I guess I'll pick up a simple key to start off. Any little bit of extra infectivity isn't so bad, and Spirit's Glade, i.e. Southeast Asia, is considered to be rural, so that should help me spread a little faster. Let's go for Tram Pass just so I can boost up my land transmission. I am assuming that that is how that works. Chance mutation, effective. Let's go for Gathering Swarm, hot and humid. That is perfect, again, for our starting location. We'll pick up the Lumafly Lantern for some water transmission. I think I'm just going to have to fly a little bit under the radar. Not by a lot, though. That's kind of the problem. And remember, the longer we wait here with the genetic drift, the harder this is going to get for me because everything is getting progressively more and more expensive. I'm just really hoping the extra DNA ultimately is going to pay off for me. Let's try to get those maps just so I can get the huge boost in infectivity. We're going to get detected very, very early on. Yeah, we just got detected, but if our lethality and severity are extremely low, well, our severity is actually pretty bad now that I think about it. So they're going to start working on the cure, but I'm hoping not a lot of people are going to be contributing to it for a while. That is my hope and my prayer. We're getting not nearly as much DNA as I think I would have expected for the ability that we were talking about. Let's pick up the glowing womb. I'm not going to go for fluke nest. Easier to cure sounds like a terrible plan at this point. So we could go for any of these keys, and that would be worth a pretty good amount. We still haven't got Trojan Plains. Mark of Pride if we want symptoms. I mean, yeah, we probably do need to get symptoms just so I have the option to unlock some mutation chance. So let's pick that one up. Maybe the nail is ultimately going to lead to a very large investment, but you get something great at the end of it. That could very, very well be. Just going to focus on the infectivity for the moment. Somehow we have to plow through that cold resistance. That is really going to be a problem, to be honest. It really is. Do not underestimate how important some of those resistances really can be. City Crest would lead to what? King's Brand? Encourage more public gatherings sounds like a great idea with the best of intentions. What could go wrong? I mean, yeah, if all the bugs suddenly get into one area, that's not exactly great for what's going to happen here. They kind of do spread around this insanity. That's basically what the corruption ends up doing. That's the reason the bugs all attack you throughout the game. Is they're infected with that Radiance corruption there. And it makes them all kind of lose their minds, right? That's the idea behind it. Finding a bug who's not insane is great. You found a vessel fragment. Collect 3 to receive a bonus. Oh! Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. What is the vessel going to do for me? Normally, this would, like, lead to getting either... Let's see. No, the mask gets you extra health. The vessel fragment gets you extra soul, right? Pretty sure that's right. Let's go for focus in order to reduce lethality and severity to boost our transmission. Quick focus would help with the transmission in the rich countries. Sure, that seems good. Deep focus, decrease infectivity, but it's harder to cure and can transmission from corpses more effectively. So we never need to go for Grub Song at that point. Okay. One of these days I need to get like a little plushie of the grubs, by the way. They're cute. You know? I like them a lot. So this isn't important to me right now. I mean, I guess the harder to cure thing is kind of good. I still don't see a lot of value right now in most of the symptoms, except apparently there are the, you know, fragments. Let's go for some Trojan Plains. I'm going to reduce, well, let's go for Defender's Crest, I suppose. We do still need to get into places like Greenland as quick as we can. I'm sort of wondering how this is beatable on Mega Brutal. I feel like I'm missing something very, very important. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, though. We could go for Isma's Tier so we could transfer across the seas with no problem. I feel like this is one of those things where you're going to have to play the scenario several times until you find just the right Easter egg, and that is how you're going to beat it. That's kind of my guess. So tell you what, let's go down the old nail. There's the dream nail and all that. Yeah, sure, that's cool and all. I want to find out what the nail gets me. Is the nail going to get me something useful? The coiled nail? Okay, sure, yeah, we're going through all the different blacksmithing upgrades and stuff like that. That makes sense. Oh, I'm sure you'll be rewarded greatly if you keep going down this. This is the sort of thing that people tell me right before they troll me, okay? So I'm not sure how much I believe you, but we're gonna find out. Pure nail. Good God, this gets expensive is the problem. Did you forget on Mega Brutal that the genetic drift is a thing? It gets really, really, really difficult. Let's go to Norway, I guess. 51 DNA now in order to afford this. Like, there's no way we beat this right now, right? 75% complete. Okay, we still can't pick it up, and now it's 52. It just keeps getting more and more expensive. Now we can. What is... Oh, you hid it from me! You hid it from me! I knew we were going to get trolled. There's one last thing down here. For frick's sake. All right. Right. So basically, we're screwed. We're going to lose. All right. So tell you what I'm going to do. All right? I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, but I'm going to do some scouting. And by scouting, I mean we're going to try out the scenario in cheat mode. I'm going to find out where all the hidden things are and then decide what's actually worth pursuing. So, Baldur's Shell leads to Stalwart Shell, resets lethality, but will build up over time. Doesn't seem useful to me. Okay, so we know that that's going to go somewhere. King Soul, the first half to start something disastrous. Oh my. Old Nail leads to what exactly? Come on, nothing down there. All right, what if I got the Dream Nail? Dream Nail, awaken the Dream Nail? There's a surprise. Is there? What about Grimchild? Go for Grimchild. That leads to Monomon's Mask, the second part to unleashing something terrible. Okay. Grimchild, there. That leads to Vessel Fragment 3. We know where that is. King Soul level 2. The Void Heart. Unleash the darkness everywhere and control everything. Okay. Carefree Melody. No more Trojan Plains, but the disease is harder to cure. You have to invest that much in Grimchild to get to that point? Good God. I don't know about that one, though. So there's the Void Heart. That leads to Salubra's Blessing. You've unlocked all abilities, increase effectivity to all countries with a modifier. Oh my god, that's how I get my cold resistance? I have to pick up everything? No, thank you. Mark of Pride, Dream Wielder, Kismas Tear, Delicate Flower, Ruined Flower, grant decreased severity and lethality to improve infectivity and country effectiveness. Now that might be worth investing in. That would lead to Masked Shard level 3. There are Masked Shards as well as Vessel Shards! And there's this last piece over here. There's the 4th. Yeah, it is impossible to do this scavenger hunt. I'm just going to tell you that right now, guys. All right? You can try. You can try to persuade me that that's the way to go, but I'm telling you right now, there ain't no way in heck on Mega Brutal that I'm going to be able to do all of the treasure hunting. Just not possible. Let's see. Fury of the Fallen, Sprint Master, Shaman Stone, Hunter's Journal, Soul Eater. A lot missing here. What if I pick up all of these? That leads to Nail Master's Glory, speeding up the cure. Why would I want to do that? Sharp Shadow. Vessel Fragment level 2 is up over there. What if I did the Fragiles? Unbreakable, reverse the adverse effect of Fragile Heart. Interesting. So you can get just the passive bonuses. That actually is good to know. It might be worth picking up the Fragiles then, depending on if this is affordable. No idea what's over there, though. Hold on. World Sense, Spore Shroom, a Masked Shard level 1. Okay, so we know where that is. Lurian's mask is over here. Okay, kind of like Monomon's mask. So interesting, it's basically asking you to get the Dreamer's masks just like you would in the game so that you could actually go and fight the Hollow Knight, which is interesting. There's the Vessel Fragment. So this is here. This right here is hidden from me. Hold on. Ancient Mask. There it is. Okay, Plague is harder to cure. Hera's Mask. The last part unleashing something terrible. Frickin' heck. Where is all the stuff? There it is, the Black Egg. Ah! The Seals of the Hollow Knight has opened. Okay, and that leads to the Soul Vessel. Trojan Plane greatly improved. Sure? Question mark? Ah! God Tuner. Let your mind connect with the Radiance and transcend beyond the confines of this world. Is that how you win the game? I think it probably is, because that's literally everything. So there's a lot of unique stuff in this scenario, all right? No doubt about it. My question is now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, how the heck do you beat this on Mega Brutal? And the answer is you do not fall for any of the treasure hunts. This is all gonna trick you. Don't bother with all these Masked Shards. Forget it. It ain't good enough. But at least now I don't feel like I'm being, like, completely thrown for a loop. I am actually debating whether this is beatable, though. We're gonna find out. The developer didn't lie to me, right? You said try it on Mega Brutal for the best experience. That means you yourself have also beaten it on Mega Brutal, right? You dang well better have, otherwise I'm gonna feel very, very disappointed in you. So we're gonna lose expressly because there's no cold resistance. I kid you not. All right, let's think about one more attempt here. If I started in a place like, let's say, Glade of Hope, a place that does not have hot or cold resistance to it, so we're neutral, not strong in either, maybe that is the only way. I mean, the alternative is to start, you know what? No, start in the Tower of Love. We're gonna start in the cold country. That's what we're gonna do. Because there is hot resistance. I've seen that. It's this thing right here, the Gathering Swarm. So we actually have better chances of surviving in the hot countries than the cold ones. Yes, this makes sense. That is just the best I can think to do at this point. This is gonna be a slow roll. There's no way around it. We're starting in a terrible location. Might have been better to start in a place like Germany and such, but I didn't want to start in a rich country. So I figured this was one way to avoid that. Let's go ahead and reduce that severity a little bit with the focus. We're spreading pretty decently now in the cold countries, so this is definitely already an improvement. Pick up some of the heat transmission. We haven't even gotten into a hot country yet, but we're going to. There we go. And maybe some extra transmission in rich countries would make sense since we're in Europe, sure. And then if we go back to abilities, what would make sense now? Probably start with some basic Trojan planes. So where do we want to go? Places like Australia and stuff are actually going to be what kills me because it's a hot country as well as a rich island. So dealing with some of that early on would be better. I'm hoping we can actually get into Greenland and stuff for free. Let's go for City Crest. I want to work toward that King's Brand since that is a pretty hefty amount of extra DNA. And while I'm popping all these red bubbles, we should actually be able to get that fairly quickly before the genetic drift makes it a lot worse. There we go. Let's go to Madagascar next since they've already locked themselves off. Gonna pick up that Mark of Pride. And we will go for Fragile Heart and then the Unbreakable Hearts, though they did... hang on, they just... oh, crap, now it's 11 DNA. I thought I had enough DNA for that already, and I didn't, and now the cure is moving a lot faster. Crap. Okay, that reset it a little bit, but not by much. They're still curing me so gosh dang fast, it's not even funny. So do you have to go for Grimchild? Do you have to do it? Are you missing any other key islands? No, just a few places in, like, Central Africa and stuff. If we can do that, we're gonna be in better shape. Okay, but they're already at 50% with the cure progress. Pick this up, and then we gotta go for things like the Carefree Melody, I think. Anything that helps slow this down, but I need that lethality at the same time, so let's go for Fragile Strength and Unbreakable Strength. Okay. Yeah, the global research is now focused on a cure. Get Carefree Melody up and running. I think we're gonna have to go for Deep Focus, probably, in order to slow it down a little bit more. But my lethality still sort of sucks. That's the other problem. So now my infectivity is terrible. But we're still killing pretty okay here. I've got some basic corpse transmission. I'm gonna go for the Thorns of Agony still. Come on, we're in every country now. Like, this is still a better shot than I've had in the past. The heat transmission can do its job. It's just a question of, can we now kill fast enough to survive against the cure? So to that extent, we pick up things like Long Nail, Great Slash, Dash Slash, Cyclone Slash, anything that boosts up that lethality a little faster. Holy crap, I actually think we might have it here. I kid you not, I think we might. We're in every country. It's just a couple of African countries that are holding out. Morocco, Queen Station, is the one place that actually has me kind of nervous. But enough of the world is dead. I think we have a shot now. Woo, did we figure this out? I think we might have figured it out, boys! Let's boost up Quartz Transmission even further. Slight increase of lethality. Come on, just keep that going. Once I see that we are hitting critical mass here, what we can do is probably pick up the, the Fragile Flower or whatever, Delicate Flower, which is also in and of itself a really big pain in the freaking game. Boost lethality, more likely to mutate, cool. Ruin Flower, tons of extra effectiveness, Isma's Tear, and that would lead to a Max Guard, who even cares? So my lethality is still not amazing, but infectivity gets boosted a ton. So actually going for Ruin Flower is not that helpful. Yeah, we should have avoided that. We should not have picked that up. That was something we could have done in order to boost up lethality early on. Or rather, we could have skipped this step, right? Just gone straight for this and never gotten the lethality. I wish I could devolve, because I would get rid of this right now. Still, it looks like we actually pulled this one off. Good God! And we're killing way too slowly still. Way too gosh dang slowly. Come on, only a few million dead a day? That's a bowl of talk. Oh my God, this is the slowest death ever. It's not even that little lethality. I know it's not good, but I feel like it should be better than this. God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is taking so long. I guess if we wanted to go for a lot of extra lethality, going down this route over here actually would have been the better way to go. Oh well, you live and you learn. This is definitely a 1-star victory, okay? 1 star. I don't see any way around that. And finally, oh my gosh. All right, terrible score. Don't even look at it. 1,000. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. All right, pretty fun scenario. Yeah, again, I think that maybe focusing a bit on some of the Hollow Knight upgrades and stuff, while certainly a fun nod to the games, maybe doesn't work as well from a lore perspective with what the Radiance is doing with the corruption. Probably would have focused a bit more on that, but overall, I mean, I like the scenario, but man alive, yeah, you lead me on all these little treasure hunts, and it's all basically a red herring. You're misdirecting me. If I want to win this scenario on Mega Brutal, forget the gosh dang treasure hunts, all right? Just focus on getting lethality and a ton of corpse transmission, all right? Let the bugs feast upon the corpses of their brethren, and that is the main way you survive. Look at this, by the way. The world was fully infected by, like, day 500. That was 800 days of sitting around and waiting for them to die. Oh, well, it is a good scenario. I do like that. I'm glad we found a way to beat it. I would have been very disappointed if we had not. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. It really does help the channel. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.